The housing market is ever changing, and there can be tricks to the trade for buying or selling a home. That is why House of Home met with those looking to sell yesterday with some tricks to the trade. I talked to local experts about tips for buying and selling a home.
The market's different now from last fall, and so things are changing every day, every quarter, every month. We're experiencing, micro changes regarding our market.
One of those micro changes in the market can be seen in the way of interest rates. According to Bankrate.com, as of the end of January, the average rate on 30-year loans remained below 7% compared to topping 8% in October of last year. Experts say that makes it a busy market.
I think as long as we keep the interest rates in the 6% and less, it really keeps that market moving. It's when we kind of get closer to that 7 mark that really kind of scares everybody. Homeownership still is and always will be probably the biggest asset that most people have, though. So we want people buying homes, building that equity.
Kathy Paffel of House of Home says the market has pent-up demand for housing, and now would be the perfect opportunity to buy or sell before the spring demand. In Sioux City, Clayton Anderson, KTIV News 4.